Hey everybody, Billy here from Billy's Bike Adventures. Now then, this is the Hex EZcan, the Yari EZcan for the Tenere 700. What is an EZcan? Well, it's a plug-and-play solution that makes your motorbike highly configurable to auxiliary lights, an extra sound bomb, different indicators, and it allows you to program the software that is built into this so that when you press your horn, your auxiliary lights strobe. When you press your flash, your auxiliary lights strobe. When you use your indicators, if you've got extra indicator orange lights, they will also flash. So it's highly configurable to what you want to do with your motorbike. And it's a very, very simple plug and play. 3 steps to installing this on your motorbike before you install accessories to your motorbike. First of all, you're going to need to plug this into a laptop and update the software. Now, once you've installed the software on the Hex EZcan, there's 2 more steps that you need to do to install this on your motorbike. First of all, is connecting this to the battery on your motorbike. There's the relevant fuse in there, so it's very, very straightforward to install that on your motorbike. Take the neutral out first, then the live, then put the live back on, and then the neutral last. And the other thing that you will need to do is to connect this to your motorbike's diagnostic port. And on the Tenere, it's just under the seat on the Tenere. And in the pack that you get with the EZcan, you get 2 of these, okay? 2 of these cables. One has 2 red ends. This has 2 black ends. This is not the one for my Tenere. The one for my Tenere is already installed. But you need to check the correct version for your motorbike, and then it's a simple plugs into the diagnostic. The other end plugs into the EZcan, and it's really, really straightforward. The 2 extra, the red and the green. The red will connect to your high beam cable that comes in the accessory pack. So if you want your high beam to strobe with the auxiliary lights when it comes on, you will need to plug in the high beam, which is a blue cable, incidentally, that plugs from the front of the motorcycle, and I'll show you where that is shortly, into this. This green cable is for the horn. There is an additional green cable in the additional pack that you need for the accessories, and that runs from here to your horn, and basically your auxiliary lights will strobe when you press your horn when you've got that plugged in. But that is the diagnostic port tool cable that you need. I've got the other one, the second one that comes with this, installed on my bike already. Why the EZcan is so simple is because, let me give you an example. So I've installed some SW-MOTECH Evo high beam lights on my motorbike, and this is the wiring loom, right, that came with it. Okay, when I got this out of the pack, I was a little bit terrified, I have to be honest. The thought of running these cables when they're all connected together was a little bit terrifying. And what the EZcan does, it makes the running of cables so much more simple, and you don't actually need that. The other thing that that you may need, or that may come with it, is that if you don't have the ability to have your lights come on when you power on the bike, you've probably got to install, like I had to with the SW-MOTECH lights, an extra switch to your handlebar, and that is to switch them on and off. And I wanted the convenience of the lights going on and off when the ignition was turned on and off, and that is what the EZcan allows you to do as well. The only cable cutting that I had to do for the installation was the cables that came out of the lights themselves. The connection points, I had to cut those off and attach new connection points because they wouldn't have connected to the EZcan cabling. So it was these 2 connectors that came with the lights, or that were attached to the lights, and I just had to snip those off right at the end. And in the accessories pack, the accessory cables pack, you've got these orange and black connectors, and that is what you need to connect to your lights, and it's really, really straightforward. They're already cut for you at this end, so all you need is some crimps and a crimping tool, and it's really easily done. And then that end plugs into the cable that you've run underneath the tank to connect to the auxiliary lights. It's very, very straightforward. Right, so what we've got here is the diagnostic port, and very, very simply, the bigger end on this diagnostic port. So this is exactly the same type of cable that I showed you earlier on. This is the second of the two that come with it, and so I've selected the right one. So essentially one end is left blank, and there's a connector that comes from your diagnostic port that plugs in the other end, and then simply the other end of the diagnostic port plugs in like so. That's clicked in. You can see that I've already run and have connected the horn cable that allows the lights to strobe. So I've run this green cable through the motorbike. And as I said, there's a blue cable that comes in the accessories pack that connects to this red cable that is attached to this diagnostic port. And I've run that down to the side of the motorbike, and I'll show you where that is shortly. So what I need to do next is install the EZcan, or connect it to the battery. So I'm going to take off the neutral first, then the live. Then I'm going to put the live on first for the EZcan, and then the neutral last of all. So to do that, I need to feed the cables through underneath the part of the bracket for the seat. So I'll just do that very carefully. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to run the cables underneath the other cables that I've already installed on the bike. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the live over on this side and the neutral over on this side. The live is the one with the fuse. It's going to be the neutral done first. On top, there we go. That's going to go in there. Right, ready to screw that back in. Again, nice and tight. So that is the live and the neutral connected now. So that's just going to stay lying like that. The diagnostic port of the EZcan cable has now been connected to the diagnostic port on my motorbike. So the last thing to do now to have this EZcan installed, so that's the power cable is the long cable, so it's quite straightforward. This white ended cable here now connects to the white ended cable off the Yari EZcan, connects and clicks, and that is the EZcan now installed on my motorbike. The other thing I forgot to mention is that there is a rubber housing that comes with this EZcan. Here's the rubber housing that comes with it, just to give it some protection, and that just installs over the top like that. You have the flap here to access the software port where you can update the EZcan and connect it to your laptop. Next thing to do now is to show you what I did to run the cables for the auxiliary lights and the horn. So in the accessories pack you get these two cables here, separate cables, these two cables, long cables, and what I've been able to do is to run them through underneath the tank. Now I did not need to take the tank off the motorbike. What I was able to do is to run a bit of wire underneath and where I wanted it to go. So let me show you how I did that. Right, in order to run the cables for the lights, auxiliary lights at the front, and as I said, I've got the SW-MOTECH Evo high beam lights at the front, and they attach just under the nose of the motorbike. So if you get those, it's very, very straightforward to install those on your motorbike. But as I say, you need to take this panel off. You need a Torx 30 ratchet, so two Torx 30s here, and this one is a Torx 20 at the bottom. A little bit tricky with the crash bars, but pretty straightforward. I've already taken those out. What you've got is three 8mm plastic screws just on the front edge here. All they require is a quarter or half turn to loosen them, and I'll show you why they're only a quarter or a half turn. And then they just pull on out. So that's what you've got. You've got a little plastic insert there, and you just need to give it a half turn to tighten it up and for that to actually pop out. So you've got three of those on the leading edge of the front here. So when you've got the 3 at the front here out and the 2 at the top and the 1 at the bottom, then all this that happens then, this panel, pull the panel back slightly and that'll just come off. Now you've got the indicator cable attached, and that's a pretty straightforward thing to undo. So once you've got that off, you just simply, there's a cable on the inside. There we go. So that cable just disconnects, and that is your side panel off. So what I was able to do with the Tenere, I didn't have to loosen the tank or take the tank off at all. What I was able to do was to run some wire, and I started from where the diagnostic port is installed, and then I was able to run a cable up through. You need a little bit of patience for this. It took me about 30 minutes to do, but a cable or a bit of wire, and I ran it, and I could see I could run it up through, and eventually I could see it come through the side here, and I didn't have to take off the fuel tank. And I made sure that I've run the cable over the top of the engine, away from the engine, so the heat of the engine isn't going to damage any of the cables. Now the reason I wanted to show you this side and not the other side, because it's this side where the high beam, this blue cable here, connects to your lights at the front. So this port here is already there, and all I've done is replace the connection that was here with the auxiliary cable that comes with the lights. Sorry, not with the lights, with the EZcan pack. And again, the instructions are so straightforward to know which one you should be using and which one you should be installing. And the blue cable is attached to part of that system, and so I was able to run the blue cable. Once I fed the wire through, I was able to connect the blue cable to the wire, as well as the cable here for the auxiliary lights. I was able to attach those and feed that all the way through and connect it to the relevant cables. And so there's the connection port there for the auxiliary lights, and I've got one the other side as well. So it was really, really straightforward. So now that that is installed and complete, these are the 2 cables that I've run separately. So these are 2 separate cables that come in the EZcan accessories pack, and I've run these individually along here. I've got the high beam blue cable connected to this one. I've got the green horn cable connected to this one, and I've routed them in exactly the same way, fed them underneath this bar here, and now they're ready to connect to the EZcan. So it's these 2 cables here, this blue and red one. So on the right hand side, I am plugging this one into the blue. On the left hand side, I'm plugging this one into the red. And that now is the auxiliary light cables installed. All that I need to do now is just to tidy up underneath here. So these cables can be routed underneath here. Snug as a bug in a rug. The EZcan sits in there with its rubber housing on. Cables out the way, and the seat is ready to go back on now, and let me show you how this operates. Let's try the flash strobe first. So you've got to flash it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and they strobe, and then they will strobe once you press the horn as well. So the installation of the auxiliary lights and the use of the horn for the light strobing is made really simple with the Hex EZcan. The Hex EZcan Yari for the Tenere 700. Website to the Hex Innovate website, where they've got lots of content regarding YouTube videos and content relating to the installation of these EZcans to the motorbikes and for your relevant motorbike. The link is in the description down below. The link for this particular EU EZcan for my 21 Tenere is also down below as well as other Tenere EZcan links as well. Any questions or comments, leave them down below the video and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks very much for watching and I'll catch you again very soon.